I'm Ryan in the Clevertouch education team. I'm joined today by my able assistant Gareth. We're just going to take you through the Clevershare application, which allows you to cast or mirror to the screen, or also to be able to sync out from the screen to be able to show your Clevertouch screen on other connected devices. Before we get started, there's a couple of housekeeping things we should look at, which we can access by tapping the little icon at the top of the screen, then tapping on View the Main Interface, coming across to the menu section here, thank you Gareth, and then in Settings as well. So a couple of things that we might want to take care of before you get to use your Clevershare application are going to make it much easier for your pupils and your teachers to use the system. One of them is to be able to make your device able with a quick connection, which will allow you to then name the screen. If we scroll down here, we've got the option to have the device name and a little edit option. That will allow you to name the screen in conjunction with the name of the classroom. Again, just makes it a little bit easier for your pupils to find. We have here a permissions mode, which we've toggled to on, and as when Gareth casts in a minute, you'll be able to see that he can't just show his content without the teacher accepting that content at the screen. Scrolling down a little bit further, three other options for you to be able to cast. Integrated into your Clevertouch screen, we've also got Chromecast, we have AirPlay, and we have Mirrorcast, all native to your Clevertouch screens. So those options would allow you to mirror or cast to the screen without using the Clevershare app. The benefit of using the Clevershare app is obviously what you do get is the desktop sync feature, which allows you to mirror from the screen back to pupil devices. So as you can see, those options will allow you to cast from Google devices, from Apple devices, or from Windows devices using their own native platforms. So I'm just going to come back to the main screen on here. We're going to now connect from various different devices to the screen. We can use up to 50 devices to connect to the Clevertouch screen at once. We've renamed our screen up here, as you can see, the 86-inch Lux Education. So we will then start to connect from our different devices, and what you'll see here is the permissions mode is then able to be turned on, and whenever somebody attempts to connect to the screen, we're then prompted with the little connection option from the bottom right hand corner as we connect. Sorry Gareth, I think I disconnected you there as I did that. With my Windows laptop that I've got connected here, what I'm going to do is just press on my 86-inch Education. It gives me the option now to mirror to the screen or to desktop sync. If I select on mirror, I'm presented with the option of either choosing my whole desktop to mirror, or I can choose a particular window or tab that I've got open. Again, quite useful in the classroom situation if you don't want to show your whole desktop on the screen as well. So here you can see we've got multiple different devices connected. We've got an Android tablet, an Android phone, we've got an Apple iPad, and we've got a Windows laptop. In the corner of each of your connected windows, what you can also see is you've got a small array of buttons from your little pop-out menu. The disconnect button will allow us to disconnect any device if we don't want that to be seen anymore. We have a four-way arrow which allows us to zoom in and out of any particular shared window. Again, this is particularly useful if you'd like to then focus on any particular child's work. Gareth, if perhaps you'd like to show your work by zooming in from the little tab in the bottom left. And there you can see straight away we can see the content that Gareth's displaying on his device as well. Thank you, Gareth. With a Windows device, what you'll also notice is you've got the option here to have a pop-up on-screen keyboard, and on each window you can also see I've got a mute function. If you are casting video or audio content, then that would also be presented through the screen, and obviously if you've got more than one device that's mirroring, you don't necessarily want all of those soundtracks being played at once. One of the other functions we have on here is also the pop-out display. So this would allow us to use any given window as a floating window, and that could then sit on top of any content that we've got displayed on the screen before I reduct that onto the screen. One of the really useful features we see with the Clevershare is the ability to be able to turn on the camera on your connected device and then to be able to use that as a visualizer in the room. So you can see here, I'm not sure Gareth's aware I'm filming him yet, but there we go. We have up to 9 different live visualizers in the room, which is a fantastic system if you have, for example, a science experiment going on or a pupil's writing that you'd like to show on the screen. It's very, very quick and easy to be able to show that content on the screen. At any point, what I could then do is once Gareth's taken his image, I can then zoom in on his work that he's created, and I can use our Clevertouch overlay system to then to be able to annotate on top of the work that Gareth's shown in the class. So number one, this would allow me as a teacher to be able to come up and annotate on Gareth's work, or it would also allow peers to come up and peers could then peer assess on the screen as necessary. Once you've marked up your content that you're displaying on the screen, we've then got options for saving that content. We can save directly to the screen, we can QR code that out to the audience in the room, or we can also save that content up to our cloud account for then distributing later. So really quick and easy ways that you can use the Clevertouch system to be able to share your content on the screen. I'm just going to disconnect these devices now just to show you the last option that we have with Clevertouch, which is called the desktop sync functionality. So I'm going to be coming into a whiteboard here. Gareth, as you can see, is requesting to desktop sync, so I'm going to allow him access to do that on here now. And what happens is that rather than Gareth casting his device to the screen, what we're now doing is we're using the Clevershare application to cast the content that we're displaying on the screen back to Gareth's classroom device. This is particularly useful if you've got the situation where you'd like all of your pupils to see what the teacher is doing on the screen on their own individual devices. But likewise, if you have pupils with visual impairments, they can then have their own device which is showing what the teacher is doing on the screen without the need for any expensive software as an additional bolt-on. At this point, Gareth is now just looking at what I'm doing on the screen. So if I was going to move this content around on the screen, Gareth could be seeing exactly that content on his device with a live feed. In addition to that, what I can do is I can come into my options from the top, come into view the main interface and devices, and I can then see the devices that are connected to the screen. Here we can see clearly that Gareth's iPad is doing the desktop sync functionality. And next to his device name here, I have the option to be able to authorize touch to Gareth's device. So at that point, I've now handed over control, and Gareth should be able to use his device as a remote control for the screen. So this would then give you the option for any pupil in any area of the classroom to be able to then become the teacher, and then they can interact with the screen as they need to. Gareth could even interact with the tools on the bottom of the toolbar, for example. So he could be able to interact with his pen tool, for example, and he can then annotate on his device, and that content can be shown on the screen as well. So thank you for looking at our little video today. We've been having a look at Clevershare, and we've been having a look at the practical applications of that. As I say, Clevershare is one of the system applications that comes free installed on any of your Clevertouch screens, and it's got a myriad of different classroom applications. So thanks for watching our video today.